Welcome to the channel, 831 Avo. Today we're in the hills between Prunedale and Salinas. The address is officially Prunedale. Check out the view. We're dropping two in the same mound. Breeding pair. Lamb Hass, Carmen Hass. There's a lot of gopher activity, a lot of wildlife coming up here. Saw deer, turkeys, and gophers. So we're gonna protect it with a custom made, oversized, like 35, equivalent to a 35 nursery gallon container gopher basket. And then the 2x4 fence paneling around it, staked up with those green stakes. As per customers' input, I've seen and heard that they push it over. So I really want to drive those stakes down, and I don't want to let the deers get near. It's going to be native, mixed with premium potting soil, Pride Lands, compost free. And then in the white bags is the mulch. These hills are oozing with water, so I kind of want to improve the drainage a little bit. And then the stakes is going to be one per tree, the wooden stakes. And they're going to go over here. Let's go. I'm excited. We're on the other side of the wall, on the slope. Let me show you the trees. It's a lamb, south facing, because it has a more compact profile. Right now it sits taller, stands taller than the Carmen Hass, only because the Carmen Hass is leaning. But I'm gonna plant them exactly in this orientation. The limbs oriented away from the neighboring tree. And the Lamb Hass is leaning towards the left, away from the Carmen Hass. They've been prepped by painting. If you've been following, I brown wash with Go Natural paint. That would be my #1 recommendation, step 1. And they're both on Zutano rootstock, Zutano seedling rootstock. So they should be pretty compatible. Hopefully one doesn't outcompete the other. And then this is the Carmen Hass, which this string I've been training to bend. And then as soon as you bend, you're gonna get this. Shoots kind of going in the opposite direction. So this is Lamb Hass being bred back to a mutated grandparent. So Hass is Lamb's grandparent, but Carmen Hass is a mutation of Hass, and there is a difference I've noticed. The nodes are going to be a little, so if I'm correct, the tree profile on this is upright, compact with a slight reach. And in comparison, and I'll show you guys in the future, standing side by side, the nodes on a Carmen are way more stacked, or way more frequent. On the original Hass, they're kind of spaced apart further. So a mutated grandparent, a mutation of the grandparent being bred back to a Lamb Hass. I'm gonna come back and collect the seeds. And then down on the hill, I'm cutting into it. I'm cutting into it and dropping this in there. The excess that I cut, I'm gonna throw over here. Right there. That's to create a surface, a flat surface, so that it does catch some water. Catch the water flat, the flat area to catch the water, but then it's gonna drive down and then gently slope away. All right, start digging. Let's go. Check out the progress. Again, higher in the back, sloping downwards. Flattened it out. This is how the cage sits. Now we backfill, blend and backfill. Layering up. First layer of native. And then I'm dropping the bag of potting soil. Once again, that was the Pride Lands Premium Potting Soil Compost Free. And before I forget, check out the native. Sandy loam. Soft. Take out the organic material and throw it back in. Keep layering up, then I'm gonna hand blend. I don't want to hit it with the shovel because I don't want to damage the cage. I layered up several times over, and then I also introduced a play stand, a sack of play stand at this point, just to make volume. Just to make volume so I could fill that hole back in. I never seem to be able to get the same amount that I took out back in. And so I just want to be back at a good grade. I still have one more. But at this point, I'm staging them, I'm mocking it up. I want to see how they're going to fit in there. The 2 5s. And one more important detail at this point, I'm elongating what was a circle gopher basket. I'm elongating it as to create the furthest distance between the trees. So I'm going to do one over here and then one on the edge of the basket, but I elongated it to maximize the space between. Check it out. That's exactly how I want to be. And now we backfill. Backfill, continue to blend the native with the Pride Lands Premium Potting Soil Compost Free. And backfill. Presented 2 stakes. That limb right there is horizontal, so I'm going to tie off on it. Tie the limb off to the stake, and then this one, I'm going to want to lean that at a 45. I really don't want it horizontal, because then the rays are just going to beat down on it. It's going to crunch up, it's going to get sunburned. Same thing with that one, I'm going to want to pick it up a little bit. Next up, removing the cans. Check out the roots. That was a lamb hass. Next up is a Carmen. This one has some going up. So I'm gonna see if I can bend those down. Cause those roots growing up, that ain't right. We want to drive the roots down into the ground. So there. Now they're dangling. And then at that point right there, because they're nearing the edge of the cage, I'm gonna pull some through. Check it out, this is what I did. Now gently fill. Alright, I apologize for the shakiness. And this is how we're looking. Continue to backfill. Alright, first layer of native. Removing all organic material. And then I'm going to drop the bag of premium compost-free potting soil. Stack another layer of native and then hand blend. See the difference in layers? Dark, compost free, and then the sandy loam. So I'm going to try to fade those in. I'm going to blend it. Check it out, completely improvised. Saw that there was a form setting leftovers, and so I just did a little mini retention wall on the fly. Check it out. I still need a backfill, but I'm way short. So I'm just gonna cut again and collapse that. Cut and collapse. Cut right here and collapse it. So for these major plantings, check it out. It's looking good. The owner likes it. So let's go. Backfill and mulch. Scratched up most of the soil. Managed to fill this side in. Left a lip. I'm gonna drop some mulch. Now I just need to collapse the back wall by continuing to cut. You're really gonna like this one, check it out. Use natural resources whenever possible. So I'm using this boulder like that corner. And small little ones. A paver. But yeah, try to retain it. So when you water, it doesn't wash away. And another one over here. Alright, next up, fertilizing. Fertilization. Dr. Earth's Fruit Tree Fertilizer 552. Heavier than normal. It's 2 trees, somewhat established in a 5, pretty well rooted. And then whatever's rest of the azomite. Behind the retention wall, in front of the cut, around the tree strip line. Shake, shake, shake. And now the azomite. All of it. Same thing. Behind the retention wall. Around the mound. Behind, in front of the cut. Behind the trees in front of the cut. And now scratch it in. I forgot my claw, but once again, improvise. Just wanted about 3 inches scratched in so that it doesn't get blown away, it doesn't get washed away. The roots aren't even over here, but you want to entice them to come out. And then you also want to scratch it in because the Dr. Earth Fruit Tree Fertilizer has the mycorrhiza. So you want the mycorrhiza spore, fungus spore, to come in contact with the roots. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that all around. Now we mulch. Untreated redwood sawdust. And 3 more bags back there. Quick walk around. Check out the view. Once again. Salinas Hills, right between Prunedale and Salinas. Carmen. Lamb. Next up, fence panel and clipped clothes with binder clips. Now before we do that, we're tying. I don't even have a landscaping tie. I'm using flagging tape. Let me get it. Once again, flagging tape, work with what you have, work with what's around you, just make it happen. Don't give up, keep going. So I use this limb, this offshoot, to notch as a notch to catch it and throw it back. It was leaning too much. I don't want it to peek outside of the fence panel. Then I wrapped it kind of multiple times, harnessing on the pole. So it's like a little mini harness. And then let's go over to this other one. This one, like I mentioned, you don't want it completely horizontal, so I angled it upwards. So check it out. If it does shade the Carmen, it's going to be it's going to be Carmen's benefit, because Carmen always wants to flower. Focusing on flowering, sometimes overstressing and defoliating. So I'm hoping the lamb, the upright compact lamb, for now, shades somewhat shades the Carmen, and over time the Carmen will outgrow the shade and slightly reach. Now the fence panel, the deer fence panel. Done. Check it out. So these landscaping metal stakes, I tied into it using plastic coated landscaping trellising wire and cut with the snippers. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. But it also sits on these notches. 1. Oh, just one, it jumped out. Oh well. And then did the same over here. Tied it to the post. Sits on the notch. And then right here I doubled up. I normally overlap and zigzag with the binder clips, but I just barely made it around. So I tied it, zip ties to it, and closed it shut tight. But those might wear with the sun, so then I just put the clips. So I went zip tie, clip, zip tie, clip, zip tie, clip, zip tie, clip, all the way down. Now quick, right here, it's peeking out. Deers might get it. Actually, no, deers are gonna get it, but it's all right. It's only gonna serve as a natural prune. And then right there. Once again, this is 2 in the same mound. It was a custom gopher basket, 24 inches in height. Probably below grade is 18 inches. Equivalent to, I would say, like a number 35. Number 35, or definitely bigger than a 25, because I used a 25 to make it. But I gave it some more circumference. So I would say either a 30 or a 35 custom made gopher basket. To the left, the lamb has, 2 in the same mound. The lamb has. To the right, the Carmen has. In the hills between Salinas and Prunedale, California. Salinas and Prunedale. Mulched. And then the fencing panel. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.